We're in here. Motherfuckers out here grinding.
Don't cast me for no movie unless I'm knocking down something.
Colin Kaepernick ain't out there yelling all that shit. He ain't out there just saying that shit. He out there on the front lines doing shit. Let me speak.
Motherfuckers been doing that, snitching like that for fucking years.
I'm not gonna let you sit here and act.
Maybe she has some type of artistic vision with that. For real? It's just being earnest. Right here, right now. What up, y'all? It's just being earnest. A special episode.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have a guest.
We have a guest. We got my man B.
I'm here, but I'm also a fan.
Cage Against the Machine.
Cage Against the Machine.
CageAgainstTheMachine.com.
CageAgainst.com. Round Zero. Premier people of color, MMA, and wellness podcast.
Yeah.
CageAgainst.com. You got your own podcast.
We do. We try to do a podcast. It's nowhere as good as yours, but we try.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. You got a podcast.
Yes, sir.
Nice little following, MMA crowd. So,
MMA crowd, but I think what we're doing, I think what I learned, and this is where it started, is we go to the barbershop, and as you know, in our culture, this is a place where when we go to the barbershop, we have open discussions.
Right.
And what I found is you go into the barbershop, and it's always a debate.
Yeah.
And there are generic debates that always happen at the barbershop.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Always. It's always a generic.
It's always
people just bring
Biggie or
up.
Tupac, right? It's always generic.
Yeah.
It's very generic.
Yeah.
It's always
They shouldn't have traded Khalil Mack.
Yeah, right. It's always Kobe versus Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And so one day, my boy and I, JK, were in the barbershop, and we said something to the equivalent of like, Rashad or Anderson Silva. It was crickets. Like, yo, here's this sport that is growing at the same rate that soccer is.
Right.
Across the world. We are dominant in the sport at the same time when we've had our first black president.
Right.
They use nothing but hip hop to sell it. And they always use our culture to sell things.
Right.
And our folks don't know it. And then when you ask the average dude, I don't like all that kicking and shit, right?
Yeah.
And then
I'm not gonna take my shoes off.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you look at the World Star, by the way, one of my healthy addictions that my family looks at me crazy for. I love World Star fights. Those compilations, they're for me. I watch those. Do you watch those?
I don't go on World Star that much.
Fair. Good. Yeah, we should make our own World Star. But I watch those fights.
Hey, that's
and then when I start seeing little hood kids like start doing spinning back fists and start doing Kimuras,
okay,
I know the culture's changing. Okay? So in my mind, I start thinking, okay, well, in my mind, I think, what if I can convince or talk to people about it? And then more importantly, which I don't talk enough about, I think many of us who train find so much mental health in it and exercise, but I myself...
You're talking about therapeutic.
Oh, yeah. And even in myself, I lost 100 pounds over the last 3 years training. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
100 pounds?
Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a motherfucker.
It's a motherfucker.
So stop you when you're sleeping.
Yes, sir. And I lost so many of my...
On the stop breathing side of the game.
Yeah, you choked to death.
That's happened to me.
Yeah.
My main man got it. I ain't gonna put him out there.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna put him out there, but you know what I'm saying, he had you gotta sleep. You gotta sleep with the mask on and all that.
One of the greatest rappers ever died of it, and I think that was the wake up call to me, which was when I was in the training for the apnea, and they're like, oh, the dudes, I'm just good. I'm so
also the late Reggie White.
Dude, here we go, right? So it gets to a point where I'm hearing them in the training, and they're like, well, it's all black women. And they're like, well, I don't want to mess up my hair. And the dude's like, well, okay, you could sleep on your side, or you could lose 50 pounds. Now I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
So I know when people use the asshole voice, that's where the secret's really at.
Right.
So I was like, I need to lose 100 pounds. And as fate would have it, I ran into my old martial arts teacher, who is a coach and runs a kickboxing school. And he's like, man, you should come train with us. And I was really broken at that time. And I came, and it made me change my diet and all these things. And I'm like, okay, so if I can do this on the cheap, what could I get my friends and people in my community and dudes in the hood? How could I, you know what I mean? Like,
okay, so you hitting them with the hands and the feet. That's what you are trained in. That's what you do these days.
Yes, and
Or is that what you do these days, or is that what you did? Or
I do that now. I hit with hands, feet, elbows.
when you work out,
knees,
when you
shoulders, takedowns,
when you work out, we're not talking. We're not talking the streets.
No,
I got these fly crystals
You do.
from Full Moon Mommy. Full Moon Mommy. You can hit her up on IG _full_moon_mommy.
I'll put them links up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit her up for all your needs. This gives me balance. I have 3 kids. It helps me relax. I got some lava stones and the tiger eye.
Yeah, you got 3 kids. You need that.
See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, back to the situation.
I got 3 problems.
I got 3 problems.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I just train it, and I just thought, for me, I feel like X amount of jobs in NFL, X amount of jobs in NBA, none of us own.
Right.
UFC has a large amount of black owners, a large amount of women owners, and there's an opportunity for people. So for us, what we wanted to do was say, the theme of Cage Against the Machine was, me working out and doing martial arts is getting me off of a machine.
Gotcha.
And that the people I'm around are using the same techniques, and we want to expose people. But we realized, as we were talking about earlier, most people, when they watch a fight, they don't know what they're looking for. People can barely figure out what they're looking for in boxing. So now when we start throwing kicks and all this, as you know, the Diaz boys would say, all that spinning shit, now you're really confusing people, right?
Yeah.
And especially now when like some of the baddest people in the world are actually women, right?
Right.
People don't know what it is. It's over their head. So we're just, what we're trying to do is explain to the average person how to get into this movement.
Okay.
And then also talk about all the other factors like politics and race and all
What you
the
about to say, Dan?
So it sounds like both, not only is it entertaining, but it's healthy, but with both body and mind for those in need. In terms of building a community around,
Very much so.
around something. Okay.
Yeah, and especially if you spend time in a gym, like, and especially with all this stuff going on in the world right now.
I don't know, man. I don't think I could be walking around with my ears all big, man.
the cauliflower.
But you don't have to.
This shit is just nasty, son.
But you don't. Yes.
This shit look,
But at the
look
same
like
time-
it's about to erupt.
But at the same time, when you,
I'm thinking Conor McGregor tomorrow. This is gonna come out after the fight, but I'm thinking tomorrow Conor McGregor, could splash the dude ear all up.
right? But then when you see somebody with messed up ear, do you feel like I could take him?
Hell no.
Right? You're like, I'm not fucking with you.
Right. But it's nasty, son.
Right.
I like
Right.
my ears regular size.
But you don't have. But again, there's so many levels of let's say contact, right? Mm-hmm. You don't have to do something where you mess up your ears. You could do something as basic as cardio kickboxing.
You can just do some boxing.
You could do some boxing. You don't have to ever get hit. I think it's the methodology and the thinking about it that's interesting to me.
So what caused your ears to look like tumors? Is it
Grappling.
so it's rolling around?
It's
and shit?
grappling? It's
grappling.
not like
Rolling
hooks to the ear?
People rolling, people
California-
rubbing on your ears, huh?
They pop because you get hit there, but it's really when people have you in chokes and you try to get out, you're pulling, and wrestlers, they're pulling your ear. So that's what it's coming from. It's really somebody
Pulling your ear?
Yeah. Grapplers have that. And it's funny, after a while, if you know the arts, you could kind of, like I play this game with my wife sometimes. We'll be on BART and she'll see somebody and we'll kind of look, and she's like, okay, based on what you've told me, I think that guy's a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm like, yeah, you can tell by the body type. You can kind of know what people are doing from the arts, the way they look. And there's stereotypes to it, you know what I mean? There's all stereotypes.
I hear you.
Right?
I hear
like,
you.
for example, if I come out of a store and there's a guy with tight pants on, right?
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
he's got some tattoos and dreadlocks, he's going to try to sell me a CD.
He gonna try to sell you a CD. He got blonde tips on the end of the dreadlocks.
Hey, do you know this guy?
Hey, I know this guy.
He's just trying to turn a negative into a positive. Now, he doesn't have a SoundCloud link for me.
He always look at me and say, "You listen to rap music?"
Right. And what do you say, Ern? What do you say to him?
I say, "Yes, I listen to."
You're an honest man.
Yeah.
I'm a liar. I'm like, what?
I talk to him. I talk to him with no intention of buying anything from him.
I used to do that.
I talk to him. I like to, what's your name? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it could be just somebody. Because Clyde Carson did that to me one time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I always give these people,
give them a moment.
Make sure who I'm talking to. Then I'll see, okay, you got an Instagram. Then I'll look at their Instagram and see what they're really doing.
Yep.
That also happened with Kehlani, right?
Kehlani, no, that didn't happen with Kehlani. Kehlani was a star right off the bat. They were on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Oh no, who did you meet?
And their manager.
Back in the day, where it's just like you never know who's gonna be big.
Her.
Oh. So she was big back when you met her?
Well, they were doing the America's Got Talent at the time, but then then you don't win that, and then there's other things, and then they turn into these huge stars,
right? So
I try to give them a chance, but I mean with rap music, shit, I can't deal with it. Right. I just can't. I feel old. Because I don't understand. I'm saying all the shit that all the OGs were saying when I was listening to rap.
Yes.
Where the fuck are they even saying?
Yes.
I can't understand this shit.
I promised myself. I remember being that 16-year-old, and you're in the car, and you just made a mix down, and you're so proud of yourself. You're listening, right, and you're smoking a blunt,
right?
And there's some dude in the window like, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
And I promised myself I was never gonna be that guy.
Oh.
But now I'm the guy in the window going, could you please just I'm not going to call it shit. I'm not going to say I understand it, and I'm not going to say I enjoy it, but I'm not going to call it shit.
Yeah.
Can you turn it down? And there is, I'm not going to lie, there is a part of me, like when the dude's trying to sell me the CD, like, do you know who I am?
Right.
Do you know I'm the guy who got arrested for selling CDs? Like, I've started that.
Yeah, man.
But that's not going to help either. But to be fair, if you think about it, everything going on, you think about all the stuff women go through being harassed. Now we know how it feels. When they're like, yo, can you buy my CD?
Well, it's been going on for quite some time.
It has.
We live in the Bay Area where it started going on.
For like 40.
For
like 40 years
of
independent.
It started going on here. So that's, we grew up with people coming up to us trying to sell us their CDs.
Yes.
Old school. We talk about this old school shit. Now, I'm a fan, of all the old school rappers.
Yes.
Not all of them, but you know what I'm saying. The era.
Yes.
Daz Dillinger's he's acting like a new school rapper. Why is he on the internet? Why is Daz Dillinger on the internet wishing harm? Suge Knight, CEO mogul, Death Row Records back in the 90s when they were at their highest part. Right. The one who gave Daz Dillinger a job.
Yep.
Scumbag that he is going to jail for killing somebody, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that he has to do 28 years being at the age he is. You don't wish jail upon nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he killed somebody, though.
But he killed somebody.
Yeah,
so you got to go to jail.
I mean, yeah.
So you got to go to jail. But you don't wish that upon nobody, but that's what happens.
Right.
When you kill somebody.
Yeah.
And Daz Dillinger, Dog Pound, producer extraordinaire.
Chronic producer.
Chronic producer, Tupac, All Eyes on Me producer. Gets on the internet and is gloating about Suge Knight getting 28 years in prison.
And also, weirdly, at the same time, saying stuff like, well, the death row era is over now. Like, yeah, it's 2018. The death row era has been over.
It's been over for a long time.
Yeah.
He was, let's not forget that he was smoking weed on camera.
In what state?
He was in Georgia.
Which I don't know if you guys got the memo, not you, but rappers. Your favorite rapper gets arrested all the time.
Right.
With a gun and weed in Georgia.
In Georgia.
Why would you?
You live in Georgia and you're on camera smoking weed all the time.
You think that your clique is hard, but you're not harder than the police in Atlanta who have their own acronyms. Using
gang terms like slob. So you think you're not on the radar using gang terms on the internet?
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that he was even going back to that stuff.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't know. Okay.
It's reckless to do on the internet. Our generation should know better than that.
Well, and on top of which, was he a slob when you signed the record contract?
He was the same guy.
Was he a slob then? When you and your Long Beach friends, Crips, were hanging out with him? Was he a slob when you were beating up interns who had Bad Boy Entertainment on your shirt? Was he a slob when you was swinging golf clubs at members of Ruthless Records.
Right.
When it was all happening.
Apologies to all my Pyru friends for this crazy talk right
Yeah, I don't. See, me, that's the problem where I unfortunately had that thing called like a black father.
Yeah.
And he would do these
You
things.
had a real father.
Yeah, he would do this thing called kick my ass if I would talk that gang stuff.
Yeah.
Which I would try to talk that gang
No,
stuff.
I don't try to talk that gang stuff. I stay
wouldn't
out
lie,
of it. I stay out of it.
I was a trendy bitch. I believed in rap shit. And B, I was little. So I didn't want my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? So I would hang out. If dudes are doing it, I'm going to hang out. Let's just be real. Why it happens, right? One group of assholes is going to save you from another group of assholes.
So meanwhile, why I said you don't wish death upon anybody,
right?
And you don't wish jail upon anybody. Daz Dillinger, 2 days later, the next day he made some video talking about Kanye and Kim Kardashian come suck my dick and all this shit. And he did all of that.
Well,
and talking about, oh yeah, we run trains on her, all this shit, talking all kinds of crazy shit.
You better be careful with that. You get
then he did that, and then the next day,
you get the Lululemon.
I think it was a day or two later. Daz Dillinger, the cops come to his house. He gets hit.
Yep.
With hella tree.
Yep.
Bunch of different oils and waxes and
plants.
all.
Yep, I saw that.
All the ingredients in Georgia.
And your rap partner, who I'm not going to dry snitch, but your rap partner owns a company that sells this stuff.
Right.
And he didn't get hit, but he lives near you.
But he don't live in Georgia.
But he goes back and forth between. He was on the Breakfast Club saying he did. So it's just interesting to me that they narrowed they put the satellite in on you. Like,
well,
okay.
You're talking that gang stuff and on the internet, and you know, come on, man, you're putting you're smoking your blunts.
I'm not trying to be arrogant.
What's wrong, Daniel Oda?
That's wild to me.
Yeah,
because for anybody to be around, and if anybody's heard the term rap police before, that began in the death row era in the mid 90s, or maybe even earlier than that, honestly.
It's about then.
Okay, so if he was a part of death row and then All Eyes on Me in that era, he should know better. And that's amazing to me that he's on this social media bitch hype where he's going.
It's I don't know what that's about, man.
I'm perplexed. I would
also feel like there's a certain rules of the game, right? Like there's just certain rules. Like I understand where I'm at. Like where there's places I would know. Like I wouldn't go to where Daz is from, talking loud and crazy,
right,
with certain colors, because I have 20 to 30 years of data that says there's consequences, right? Mm-hmm. I remember even back as far as 2007 when we used to hear videos about Nas getting pulled over in front of his house and arrested for being under the influence in his driveway. Right? Mm-hmm. Didn't Offset just get caught recently? There's a track record of Atlanta. Understand
it's Georgia.
That Atlanta, Georgia
period.
is not playing with you.
Life Jennings, remember him?
Right. Man, they're not playing with you about smoking weed or anything about it. So you would want to act a certain way when you're there.
In Atlanta, yeah.
In Atlanta. You would just think. You can wear a dress. Mm-hmm. Right? You cannot have weed.
A lot of guys wearing dresses in Atlanta.
Hey, if it makes you happy.
If it makes you happy,
nobody's hurt and everybody agrees. What you like
to do. And it's a lot of guys that like guys in dresses in Atlanta.
Which I'm personally a fan of, because that means it's less competition for the single men who want women.
Right.
So there's less.
That's cool. That's a good way of looking at it, man.
And then also the planet is not getting any smaller in terms of population, so then that's less, people creating and.
Right.
So
8 billion people on this planet. Yeah.
Man, and there's some benefits to this. So I'm not against it. What Atlanta has told me is that they're going to spend their money on making sure that rappers don't have THC.
Well, that's just against the law in Atlanta, period.
Period.
In Georgia, period. And it will be.
Yeah. And I think people get it twisted because they make the mistake like very much similar to like the Bay Area. It's like you look at Atlanta and you think that that's the reflection, but if you drive 20 minutes outside of Atlanta to them woods,
yeah,
you learn,
it's different.
You learn who's really in control.
It's a
yeah. Tell them what it is.
It's a different
Tell
culture,
them what it
but
is.
you know, you play with matches, you get burned, and that's apparently what happened with Daz Dillinger.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
Unfortunately.
Look, there are two people you don't talk about running trains on: Kim Kardashian and Beyonce.
It's too much.
Accurate.
Too much money involved, man.
But because you're tapping into their fan base, that fan base has nothing but time to get at you.
It's just dumb.
You're
It's just fucking stupid.
Right. It's like bathing yourself in gravy and jumping into a yard full of lions.
Yeah.
Who haven't been fed. You're
Just great.
asking.
Yeah.
You're asking for it. And I don't wish it upon Daz. I'm not the biggest fan. I will say there are some Daz verses from that era that I love very much.
Ambitions of a Rider beat was clean.
Yes, sir.
Word.
Very, very much so. Yes.
Accurate.
Yes. And his verse and contribution to the "Let Me Ride" remix.
It was all right. I never been a fan of his rapping.
None of them were like artful rappers the same way.
Daz, to me to show you. You want to scrap a blast, or do you know that Daz? Fuck BG Knockout and everybody down with him. Cause I'm a natural born killer.
And now I'm rolling with my Granny's.
Nah, man.
I mean, to be fair, a poor man's RBX, but
poor man's RBX. Dad's a hell of a producer.
Incredible.
I'm not gonna diminish that, but that was karma.
Yeah.
That was karma, man. You can't. You can't. I mean, I never.
Karma comes back around to get you.
It came back real fast.
Well, I mean, if you're that guy, I mean, that whole era. I remember, and I don't wish it on anybody, but it's amazing to me how you can.
He's gonna have to sit down over that.
Yeah. Like you can make music and all this stuff about getting at people, and when they get at you, it's all of a sudden you're a victim. It's murder was the case. Why am I crying in court? Like at a certain point. Do you not know? I mean, at least us. We were talking about this when we grew up. You know, not to put that in your lyrics because people in the Bay will call you on that.
Yeah.
Oh, you the knockout artist? Put the mic down.
Well, it's really not like that anymore.
No. Now you can be anybody. No, now it's imaginary.
It's not like that anymore. And when I learned it wasn't like that anymore, when there was actual pictures of Rick Ross in the correctional thing.
That was the deal breaker for you. That's interesting.
That was when I was like, word, y'all ain't tripping. 50 Cent was the only one that was like, what the fuck?
But
and then everybody
look who's
else
talking.
Everybody else
But
was
look
just
who's
cool.
talking though.
But I fuck with 50 Cent.
I like 50. I bought his album. I enjoyed his album. He was also in the courtroom when Supreme was getting life, going yes. He
was.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I'm confused.
He was. They did put 9 holes in him.
Again. Your lyrics said I don't need to go to the police.
Right.
And I'm trying to understand.
I got you. But wait.
I'm trying to understand how you walked out of that Brooklyn courthouse.
I mean,
he's out.
With everything we talked about, the rap police and all that, and everything they knew going on.
Right.
How did you get out?
You talking about when they got him? I remember that.
Right.
I remember that.
The Ja Rule thing, all that. How did you get out of there? Again, I don't know. As my boy JK says, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I don't know. But what I think to your point is, the guys who say that they are that in the moment,
right,
it never adds up. The only one who keeps it a little bit real is maybe Jay, which is like 20 years ago, and then that gets old. Whereas like 20 years ago, I used to sell that dope. The closest he came back to it was American Gangster, and he's like, I'm Frank.
E40 is who he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
E40 is who
yes,
he is.
but wouldn't you agree he slangs more fat burgers than he does
now?
Yes.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, I mean, he's age appropriate. I mean,
correct.
He's age appropriate now. I think Jay-Z's age appropriate now.
Yes.
I think that
Agreed.
them two are aging very,
Agreed.
very good in hip hop.
And I also think that those two are also,
And they're both 50.
yeah, and they're the only ones who really spent the time to try to reach back and take the younger ones and say, come along and let me show you
Yeah.
what we were talking about. I'm kind of disappointed it took so long for Ghostface and E40 to do a song together.
Oh, yeah.
I always felt that they should have done an album together long ago because I felt like they were heads and tails of the same coin.
Yeah.
They were just slang gods, but you could never get them on the same beat that sounded right.
Yeah. But, going back to what we would consider a generational gap, which would be like the Rick Ross moment that you just mentioned, where there was a photo of him in a correctional facility working there. Yeah. Right? He was an officer.
No beard.
No beard. No nothing. And so...
Dick face.
So I thought when that happened and nobody was bringing a ruckus about it, I thought the reason for that was that because then the word got out about Ricky Ross, an actual coke pusher
that nobody knew about.
Because
everybody was so young.
Right. But word got out about him, and that was an actual guy that he adopted that persona. So I thought that nobody was tripping because Rick Ross was a guy that was an aspiring artist that saw somebody pass through that he idolized and adopted that persona.
Took his beard and everything.
Right. But nobody even went that far. They were just like, nah, I mean, his music's dope, whatever. So it's like,
which it is.
Yeah.
Beat selection's incredible. I don't like his albums, but his beat selection's incredible. There's certain songs that he's made that I listen to every week.
He delivers really good rap verses.
Right.
But he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's the new, Jay was like, I'm not doing that anymore. You take that lane.
Right.
I'm gonna, I mean, I think what you're saying is, I think there's one side. You're like, it's fake. He's like, maybe he's real. I would say, what if the truth is a combination of both and it's far more sinister? Is everybody Paul Robeson? Is everybody Condoleezza Rice? Do you get to be the most gifted rapper, drug dealer, criminal leader, organizer? Is that possible? Do you get to be all those things?
You just gonna throw Condoleezza Rice under the bus on my show?
Yes, absolutely. Like, no, I mean, is everybody?
Why you hating on Condoleezza Rice, man?
I better stop before they send.
Why you hating on Condoleezza Rice on my show? I got no beef with Condoleezza Rice. None.
Palo Alto, stand up.
Hey. Hey, you got a problem with Condoleezza Rice, man?
No, sir.
Condoleezza Rice didn't do nothing.
Sir. I've done a lot of things in my life, and I'm good at them. But I gotta be suspicious of somebody who can be like prolific at everything.
Who are you talking about?
So let's take Rick Ross, for example. Let's break his archetype, if it were, into characters.
Right.
You're a criminal mastermind, right? Mm-hmm. You're a drug dealer.
A cage locker.
A killer, a ghostwriter. You know what I mean? Is it possible you could do all those jobs?
I think it might be.
I don't know.
If he's that gifted, then kudos to you.
I don't know, man. I don't know about all that. But
I do give him credit though. To Joey Pill's point, he does take care of his people.
He to me looks like the best boss out of any of the rappers that I've ever seen make a label. Rick Ross seems to be the guy that takes care of his people. I don't see none of his people struggling. I'll never hear Wale talking about I'm doing bad.
The only agreed. The only person that ever complained was Pill. He killed his career, and I don't know why that happened because Pill was going to be that guy.
Yeah, and it seems like Rick Ross gives everybody a chance. He tried to give Omarion a chance. Omarion had his biggest song ever.
Had people walking around talking about eating booty like groceries.
Yeah.
I was like, no, thank you, but more to you. So Rick Ross leads the league in the best hip hop bosses, in your opinion?
Yeah, man. He seemed like he'd be the best guy to work for if you're gonna get a record deal from a rapper.
Over Jay?
How long was J. Cole on Rock Nation before he ever came out with an album?
Yeah, but he got to tour his butt off, and the people who like him. I mean,
Jay Electronica.
That's not fair. Jay Electronica. Before we get to Jay, two J's. Before we get there, hold on. Let's start with J. Cole. By every metric, here we go again with this thing. By criteria, if I go down the list, I should like J. Cole.
I'm not a J. Cole fan.
I should like him. He is lyrical.
Man, he's incredible.
He is conscious. He is mixed.
He's very talented, for sure.
Gives money back to single mothers.
I mean, he does all kind of
He does, shit. By every metric, he should. he puts me to sleep.
It's a snooze fest.
He puts me to sleep.
It's a snooze fest.
But to be fair, he's got these kids believing that he is the new Nas.
Well, he is to them.
Really?
Have you ever talked to a 20-year-old about J. Cole?
Yeah, man.
They are passionate about him. I'm not passionate about him, but they are.
Yeah.
And more importantly, the young ladies are deeply passionate about him.
Yeah.
I'm not excited. I fall asleep. I won't let anybody hate him.
It's a snooze fest to me. All singing Paula Abdul songs and all that shit.
I think the one rapper that I can agree with, like where me and a younger generation would both land on the same opinion, would be Kendrick, where it's like we all think he's
Kendrick
dope.
took me so long to get to. Like, I was never going to let anyone disrespect him, especially when
I was on Kendrick from the jump.
Yeah, when he got the nod from Merce, I was like, that's enough for me. But
right,
just on the homie stuff. But I got to be honest, like, I remember I was not, because he signed with Aftermath, I was suspicious.
You thought you'd never hear from him again?
No, I was worried about how much of it was real and how much was factory. How much was the system has created this.
Oh, no, not him.
You can't, nah. I mean,
you were skeptical.
Deeply.
You were skeptical.
And then I saw him at Rock the Bells.
He's a fucking monster.
And I saw the way that he made black women, like, how full of self-esteem.
He made him feel good.
Like, when you see him rock Money Trees for, 20,000 black women, and I'm like, okay, like, Kendrick, I believe, can end gangbanging. I honestly believe that. If he keeps going, I believe he will get rid of, like, set tripping in LA.
I don't know, man.
Well, I was more talking about the music, where I was just like,
but that's what I mean.
Yeah. Like me and a younger person go like, yeah, that shit was tight. To Pimp a Butterfly was tight. That's something like you probably you'd be really hard pressed to even think of another popular artist that would make an album like To Pimp a Butterfly.
And that wasn't even even my album. That's funny though.
It wasn't mine either.
What was yours?
Mine was the first one.
Okay. And yours is Pimp a Butterfly.
Well, no. I actually like Good Kid, Mad City the most too. But To Pimp a Butterfly is like by leaps and bounds, just way
incredible album too.
Yeah, like just the jazz that was scattered all of it. And you got really amazing jazz musicians, Kamasi Washington, Thundercat, all these guys that he reached out to and actually got real musicians to play on it in that way. It was just incredible. Like. I'm saying, like, you probably be really hard pressed to hear somebody put an album out like that anytime soon or in the future.
Fair.
That's that big.
This dick ain't free.
This dick ain't free. That was an amazing song with all kinds of jazz scattered all. Anyway.
And also, I think, as a concept album, in the same way that Damn was trying to talk about masculinity, him trying to understand femininity from the standpoint of a young man.
Word.
But I thought that was brave. For me, the Black Panther soundtrack.
That shit was fire.
Obvious bias.
Yeah.
I think that was the first real rap soundtrack. Yeah. I only have one slight pet peeve. I don't understand
Tales from the Hood was a rap soundtrack.
Was it, or was it? Did we get a bunch of rappers who already had songs that were going to be on their album?
That's what happened.
Right? Every time we have these soundtracks.
That's what happened.
My only complaint about the Black Panther soundtrack was I don't understand how you make an Avengers rap soundtrack and not put the Rap Avengers on a song.
Oh.
How was there not Ghostface on that?
It was a West Coast album.
Fair.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
With some Atlanta dudes.
Yeah.
But I think the one except you could have made a bonus track and had Ghost on it. It needed to be,
the real Tony Stark.
The real Tony Stark. I mean, even Robert Downey Jr. is like, I can't make this movie without putting the real Iron Man.
They had Ghostface.
They had Ghostface in it. He knew, right? So I think that was. But for me, that's when I was really listening to what he was doing and how he was writing on everything, and the way that he can have one song where it's like, oh, you got Ab Soul actually saying something again. Cool. Wow, you got.
Yeah.
You convinced.
Yeah.
You convinced. What's my man's name with the drums?
Anderson .Paak.
Anderson .Paak.
You
got him, and he's not talking about pimp shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I love that dude, man.
I love him, but again, right? And you got dude, you got Vince spitting on some Afro-punk shit. Like, yo, y'all are saying some shit on this album.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what moved me. I like that. But again,
we're everywhere like bird shit on this show right now.
Right.
We're everywhere right now.
I was on a radio podcast and they called me. They said you're like Mr. Toad from Wind in the Willows.
Mr. Toad.
I think that's what. I think that's the problem. Is I just get everyone to be random on the tangents. I can't help it.
It's all good, man. We're usually like that, but it's a little extra right now. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about this fight that's gonna happen tomorrow. Since we got the only time we've had a fight expert in here, all I know is how to deal with them hands. and I know the undercard got hands. The underdog got hands. So we're gonna get back to it. We'll be right back after this 80s commercial.
Yes, sir.
You're so fat they have to jack you up to take off your shoes.
Yeah, well, you're so skinny your eyes are in single file.
Well, you're so ugly your ears stick out to get away from your face.
Well, your mama is
Hold it, wait a minute. Don't bring anyone mother into this. She ain't here. If it wasn't for your mother, you wouldn't be here. So remember, when you put down one mother, you put down mothers all over the world.
Treat your mother right. Treat her right. Treat her right. Treat her right. Treat your mother right. Treat her right. Treat her right.
Mother, there is no other like mother. So treat her right. Mother, I always love her. My mother. So treat her right. Treat her right.
Back in action.
Yes, we are.
It's gonna be some action tomorrow night. Conor McGregor fighting Habib. How you say his last name? Nurmagomedov. Habib Nurmagomedov. People call him Khabib.
Habib. Yep.
The
eagle.
They disrespecting him.
Yeah.
He said,
That's definitely me because
my father gave me this name.
I'm not about to even attempt that last name.
You know.
Yeah, you just tell him to call him Habib.
Okay, so you know, it's a big. You know, he's not big, but you know, he's a tough guy. Fighting bears when he was 8 years old.
Yep.
And such things like that. Really boring to watch. Snooze fest.
Fair. If you're not into grappling, yes, but I would also go back and watch him fight somebody like Edson Barbosa, who's a masterful kickboxer, who's given us several highlights where he knocks people out with spinning kicks.
Okay, spinning kick though.
And then Habib just grabs him and bullies him. You gotta realize Habib is like the Russian version of Debo.
Okay.
He just grabs you and he just gives you the OG, like, I told you.
And then slam
I told you.
And slam you on your head.
The other ignorant one is when he fought McDonald or Michael. Is it Michael McDonald?
The singer?
Not the singer.
I'm sorry, and he's going to get so mad at me. Michael Johnson, who trains with Rashad Evans down in Florida. And he even tells him before the fight starts, like he grabs him and he holds him up against the cage. He's like, I'm going to slam you now. And after I slam you, don't do anything crazy because this is where injuries start.
Man, I saw a crazy clip of that fight where he was talking to him and he was like, you need to quit.
Just stop.
You need to stop.
And he's I like you.
Well, he also said,
I need this belt. He's like, I need this belt, and I don't want to hurt you.
Oh, so he's a nice guy too.
He's practical. He's like, I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah.
So don't. And I like you. Don't make me careful. Don't make me injure you, and it'll mess up your money. I just need to go. I need to go get this money here.
He said, I need this title fight. I deserve it. That's what I heard.
After what you saw, do you think he deserved it?
I mean, he won.
Do you feel like but he held that dude down on the ground and punched him in his face for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Not exciting, but effective.
He wore him out. He wore him out.
He's also undefeated.
Are you guys pro wrestling fans?
No. Well, I'm not.
Did you ever watch pro wrestling?
When I was young.
Yeah.
Do you remember ECW?
Yeah, I remember ECW.
Remember Taz? When Habib first premiered in UFC, he was the real life Taz. He literally would be grabbing people and do suplexes. And I think they were like, you're going to break someone's neck. You need to stop.
Yeah.
Like, he would just suplex people on their necks.
I know that this is probably very disrespectful to say.
Yes.
Because I'm not a mixed martial artist.
Sure.
This is just the eye test.
Yeah.
and this is just me knowing what I know.
Okay.
It looked like he fought a lot of ham sandwiches.
A lot of cans. A lot of cans.
A lot of cans.
A lot of BS guys. No. Let's translate that a little bit. Okay, so the grappling. Habib, first of all, contextually, is from an area called Dagestan.
Yes, I know where he's from.
Okay, do you guys so let's understand what Dagestan is. Dagestan is literally, do you ever play the video game Assassin's Creed?
No, I don't know.
No. Dagestan is literally where the assassins live, okay? So it is a small mountain cliff that is owned by the USSR, right? It is about as Caucasus Mountains as it can get.
Okay, yeah.
It's primarily Muslim country.
Cave dwellers.
All they do is, yes, that's what Elijah was talking about. All they do is train war there. All they do is wrestle and do kung fu. That's what kids. So we grew up and we rap.
Sounds kind of homo.
Homo where they'll kill you though. They breed the warriors for wrestling.
I kill you if you don't lay down.
Right. And over here we wear tight pants and rap. Over there they're like, hey, let's wrestle and kill somebody.
Let's wrestle.
Okay.
Let's wrestle.
Right. So
I'm cool, man.
they have that.
Let's go
culture.
make some music.
So he
Let's
went
tell some jokes, man.
And became a really good amateur fighter and wrestler.
Okay.
And then he moved to a small island off the coast of Santa Clara called San Jose and started training at this place called AKA, American Kickbox Academy.
Out here.
Training under the double two-time champ, Daniel Cormier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. They got a
Cain Velasquez.
They got a relationship.
Luke Rockhold, Josh Thompson.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of a lot of belts.
Yeah.
So the strategy that you see has a lot of reward for him and a lot of low risk, but for you as the casual fan,
me as the casual
boring.
It's
taco
fan,
time for you.
It's boring, right?
But for me as the fighter,
okay.
or you as the boxer,
right? So all right, so say okay, yeah. So say me as the boxer, right?
Yes.
As a boxer, as a boxing analyst fan,
yeah.
I know that somebody like Floyd Mayweather, undefeated, right?
Great.
I've seen him rocked.
Yes.
And by Shane Mosley.
Yes.
Shane Sugar Mosley. Yeah.
And even by Marcos Maidana.
Yes.
And I seen him gather himself.
Yep.
And
come back.
Dominate.
Yes.
Like not just come back, make it look easy, light work.
And also, in context, for people who may not be boxers, Mayweather, probably the best defensive boxer we've ever seen on the planet.
Right. Okay. So with Habib, so what I'm talking about is I've seen Mayweather get hit and gather himself.
Yes.
With Habib, I see him get hit. What I see with a lot of MMA fighters.
Yes.
When they get hit,
they
panic. Especially when they get hit by somebody who can hit. Who can really hit in MMA? Tyrone Woodley. Mm-hmm. That motherfucker can punch.
I have to help you. I appreciate your African Americanness, but it's Tyron. There's no E on the end.
Tyron Woodley.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Tyron Woodley.
Appreciate you.
He can punch.
It's not Barnes and Nobles. It's Barnes and Nobles.
Yeah, that's
you and I are becoming those black uncles. Here it starts.
It's not Best Buys.
It's not Best Buys. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I am not sweets. I'm just sweet. Thank you.
Gotcha.
I appreciate you.
All right. So these MMA fighters, for the most part, from what I see, when they get hit by somebody who can really hit, they fold like a chicken wing.
Some,
a lot.
Some also tactically.
I saw Conor McGregor knock a man down, knock a man out cold.
Yes.
Going backwards.
But Conor McGregor also, when he got hit in the face by Stockton's own Nathan Diaz, when he couldn't handle it, he thought he was a wrestler, and that ended up in him being choked out.
Well,
you are correct. I would also say that part of mixed martial arts, part of any good martial arts, principally, most of your explosive power can come from standing up and having your legs. If I steal your legs from you by taking you down, I have all the control. You lose all your power.
And then you wear them down.
Or I could beat you up there.
You get so winded.
Yes.
You get so winded getting tackled to the ground and trying to get back up.
But also Conor is that dude who it doesn't matter what you try to do a lot of times. His hands and feet are so nasty if he catches you.
Yeah, he's slippery in the beginning.
He's slippery. Yeah. Anderson was great like that. Good. Well, did not know if you had warned me when I walked in. I thought that was only for Cage. I didn't want to be thirsty paws. Thank you. I think tactically, to somebody who doesn't know, it looks that way. There are some fighters who fall into that, right? When they get pressured, they get hit too hard, they go for the takedowns. Mm-hmm. I think if you're fighting somebody, and you know you're better on the ground, the best thing you can do is trick them into throwing all their force and then taking them down.
I see when I bring up the Khabib fighting lunch meat guys.
Yeah.
You look at his last 5 fights versus Conor McGregor's last 5 fights, including fighting arguably the greatest boxer of all time. I just think that them bright lights, they could do something to you. They could do something to you. You can either rock. Conor McGregor has shown constantly, even the fight that he lost with Diaz.
Yeah,
he has shown that he is ready for those lights.
Oh, he thrives off it. But the flip side of what makes this fight
does everybody thrive off it though?
Khabib doesn't care. He's Dagestani.
We're about to find out.
He doesn't. That's the beauty of why it works.
We're about to find out.
For Conor, he embraces the lights and goes, "Yes, this is my moment." Khabib is like, "I don't give a single fuck. We live in huts."
I also think that he learned a few things in that boxing ring.
That I would agree.
Yeah,
I think he learned
10 rounds.
Yeah.
And training just your hands. I would agree.
Yeah.
We've also seen him, like, when he's training for this fight, we've seen Conor, like, training in slipping punches.
Yeah.
And
I see too many MMA fighters dodging punches like that.
Because
but Khabib is not going to try to punch him.
But here's what it is. When we talk about MMA fighters, what we're really talking about is guys who come in with a discipline and then they layer another discipline upon it. You got really good boxers and then they learn some grappling. You've got really good wrestlers and they learn some kickboxing. You've got really good kickboxers and they learn some jiu-jitsu. Very rarely do you get somebody who has all these arts, these powers, and they can do all of them seamlessly. We haven't seen a lot of them. Okay? So
what is John Jones? He's a kickboxer.
He's a wrestler, college wrestler.
Kickboxer
who
wrestler.
learned to start kickboxing and then recently became a jiu-jitsu player. Right? What Conor, I think a lot of people don't appreciate is he's one of those kids who did karate as a kid, but he's Irish.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? It means he's been boxing since he was in the womb.
Yeah. Yeah.
The history of boxing really comes out of 4 communities, right? It really comes out of Jewish Americans, Black Americans, Irish Americans, and Italian Americans.
That's true.
And what do these 4 groups all have in common?
Poverty.
What else? When they came here, people were like, you can't have it. Yeah. And on top of which, if you try to, I'm going to take it from you.
Right.
Right? So there's a mentality, I think, that's there. And I think.
But then they let them be white. And the rest is history.
You could too.
They didn't let the black man in on it.
Look, with enough waist trainers and lighteners, you and I could.
I'm not going Sammy Sosa.
No?
I'm not going Sammy Sosa.
That? No?
I'm not about to look like some ghoulish creature. I can't do it. Sammy Sosa went all the way left.
Vitiligo to the extreme.
He looks wild. He looks wild, man.
Yeah, just get darker.
He looks wild. I think Conor McGregor's gonna knock this dude out, and I think he's gonna knock him out within the first 3.
4th round.
You think 4th round? Conor gonna knock him out in the 4th? You think? Mm-hmm. You think Conor gonna last that long?
I do.
I think if it goes to 4, then it's gonna start going in Khabib's favor.
That man's got some conditioning.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a marathon with him if it goes to 4. But I think Conor will knock him out in the 2nd.
He has cardio. He does. You're right. Khabib has got great cardio. He trains with the cardio kings. Agreed. But to your point, Conor has also done 10 rounds in boxing with Floyd Mayweather. He's
true.
Also done 5 rounds of MMA, which is a 5-minute round with Nate Diaz.
Yeah, with Nate Diaz, yeah.
Man, this is why this fight's so important. Is it real or not? This is the epitome of yin versus yang. It couldn't be a better match. I don't think one has more cardio over the other. I think, what are they fighting for? It
seems personal.
It is personal for Khabib. Khabib wants to take the golden boy, right? The corporation's favorite guy, humiliate him in front of the world, and beat him down, and leave him there. Okay, and leave and say, I'm out. Right? This is his Black Album. Right? He drops the earphones. F this. I'm out.
He said he was gonna retire.
Right. Okay. For Conor, he already made $100 million. He makes money off this, but he does not pick fights he can lose. The only time he did that was that 170 fight against Nate Diaz, and he learned very quickly from that.
Yeah.
After he got choked out, he's like, never again. He does not pick fights.
He said Nate got to come down.
Yeah. He's like, no,
Nate
never again. Yeah. Right? And then you look, he fought Eddie Alvarez, right? Eddie Alvarez from Philly.
Yeah.
This dude did not wrestle once. And then also, to be fair, we learned later that Eddie Alvarez is a bit of a dirty fighter. We saw that against Poirier. But we see the stuff that he's been able to do. Even the stuff he fought against Mayweather, as a boxing fan, did Mayweather fight him any different than he fights anybody else?
Yeah, he did. He put his head down and came at him.
At the end, right?
Well, pretty much the whole fight. He was just coming. Mayweather came forward.
But he was just the shell. He was just basically the shell for 10 rounds. He's like, you tired? Here's the ass whooping we talked about on the plane.
He dragged him out to the water where it was deep and drowned him.
Right. He was like, he basically, you know what it was? Is Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior at the WrestleMania. It's like, can you survive? Can you survive? Because we could end this at the 4th round.
He went like this.
Yeah, but basically, I'll carry you. Oh, okay. You want to start throwing power punches? Well, now we're done.
Once I seen
he dropped his hands when he knocked out Conor.
Once I seen Conor McGregor hit Floyd with a shot that would have knocked out pretty much any MMA fighter. Yeah, I was like, man, okay, he's gonna have to learn. Yeah, boxers got different types of chins.
Correct.
Yeah,
and I think that maybe he'll learn something from that.
Correct. Also, MMA fighters and boxers are people too. They're human beings. But there's training that translates and there's training that doesn't translate. And one of the mistakes that happens with a lot of martial arts is that people believe the mythology of it, right? So in our culture, we have a better term for it. We call it dick riding, right? Because Daniel Oda was the first person to teach this art, and I trained with Daniel Oda, I must be that dude. No,
that's not the case.
No.
That's not the case.
Daniel Oda's the dude because he took 1,000 punches to his face, and he's right. Yeah, and I think that's one of those things that people buy into, and so like where yes, Conor knocks out some people.
He took a lot of punches to the face.
But he also targets people who are broken. That's the other thing I would point out. So back to your tomato can comment. A lot of the dudes he targets.
Those last 5 fights were pretty tough.
Let's go back.
Some good names.
Let's go back. So last fight being in MMA, right?
Well, his last fight was Floyd Mayweather. That was a fight.
Let's take out the Mayweather.
That was a fight.
Because we're not even sure.
That's his last fight. That was a fight.
And again, back to the whole...
He trained for that. That was a fight.
Back to the old Daz Dillinger. We wonder if that's a fight, right? Like, if y'all chilling on the same plane, all this stuff, I wonder.
Floyd did... They did call that fight the heist.
Daniel calls me and says, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. How much money am I going to make? You will make $100 million. I'll make $300 million. I'm still whooping your ass at the end. Cool. You could whoop me for $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million is how many down payments on a house? Right? So that's an easy sell. And it worked. And I could see through the mythology. I know you guys I know you guys worked out that whole arrangement. That was a pro wrestling match disguised as boxing. However,
that's how you feel about it.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
Prearranged.
That's how you feel about it.
That's how I feel.
That's not how I feel about it, but I hear you. I see how you, but I see.
But the outcome is still the same.
I see how you
the
can
outcome
feel
is
that
still
way.
the same. Floyd Mayweather is still better.
Yeah.
He's still the better boxer. He's still retired.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go back to McGregor's fights. Eddie Alvarez.
Right. He fought Eddie Alvarez, beat him.
The wrestler who doesn't wrestle. The fighter wrestler who doesn't wrestle. This is my magical fight. He doesn't wrestle. Okay. So then the rematch against Nate Diaz. Yeah, he put Nate Diaz on his butt 3 times, but he also ran. So it was really actually, he tricked Nate into making a boxing match. Okay, you won that one. Then before that, we know Nate touched you up and choked you out when you tried to wrestle.
And you choked him out, tapped.
It's true.
Jose Aldo, you got him in 13 seconds, but at the press conference, he's sitting there doing this the whole time to you. Gee, do you think you're going to throw the right hand?
Well, he gave it. He showed his hand.
But Nate Diaz and Jose Aldo, they're legit.
Aldo was the greatest, but at the same
He
time,
went to sleep.
there was also something called USADA, which it's not clear. It's not necessarily clear.
Jose Aldo. Or it's Conor McGregor?
Well, Conor, I can never tell, and even if he was, I'm sure they'll make sure he's safe.
Conor looks like he's on blow, allegedly.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Yeah.
He's on that good John Jones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Snorting that Potter, allegedly.
He's smoking that Trump. You know what I mean? He got that stuff the government got.
Whatever
and then
Trump
before
on.
Aldo, right?
Trump wild with that drip. That drip make him slur.
Right. You go back. We all got that drunk uncle. We go back. You go back before Aldo. You got Mendez.
Yeah.
That looked a little arranged.
That looked arranged.
That looked a little arranged.
We got some conspiracy theories on Just Being Earnest today.
Is that not allowed? Did I not?
No, it's perfectly allowed. And I was actually leading into a different one, but
Okay.
What were you leading into?
I don't think that Habib is going to actually retire.
No.
I really don't. I don't think he's going to do that for a while, because I didn't know who this was until we were announced that we're going to do this show about a week ago or so, like that. I started researching who he was, and I found out who his inner circle was.
Yeah.
And this inner circle goes beyond, I would say, any fighter in history.
What, is he connected?
He is connected with some of the most ruthless and vicious people in this world, really.
In the world?
Yeah, and it goes actually...
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
So, his promoter is Ali Abdulaziz.
Okay.
That's his manager. So
How's Noah?
Exactly. Now, Conor McGregor was
Pusha
shouting
T
out...
has a great song about this.
Yes.
Conor McGregor was shouting out all this crazy shit in the press conference that just went over people's heads because, number one, he talks funny. People can barely understand him. But when you go back and you listen
He's
to...
also drunk. And snorting that John Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Allegedly.
When he was like, how's Noah? And like, you're a terrorist snitch is what he said to this guy.
Yeah.
A terrorist snitch.
You're a rat. Dirty rat.
Turns out he actually is a legitimate terrorist, or was a legitimate terrorist, and turned out to be an FBI informant.
An informant. So he's spitting facts.
Yeah,
So
he was a...
Is he a snitch or is he Jack Ryan?
I don't even know who that is.
Is there a difference?
Is he the Hunt for Red October? You know, is he counterterrorism, double agent? Is he?
I don't know, man. I don't know what he is. It seemed
I don't know.
like
I don't work for the CIA.
Conor McGregor seemed like all-time greatest shit talker next to Muhammad Ali.
Right. So he's started shouting out all this shit, talking about this guy, and found out Ali Abdulaziz was actually part of the Muslim Federation of
Muslims of America. Yep.
Muslims of America, which was connected to over 3,000 terrorist acts and even bombings in some sort over a span of more than 2 decades.
So he got caught and started telling.
But who did Ali... How did Ali get introduced to Habib?
Well, here's the thing. It's not clear if he was... It's clear he's linked to MOA. What's not clear is if he was a member and he was turned, or he was always a member of the U.S. intelligence agency and sent to infiltrate.
Okay, fair. But he was introduced to Habib, and that's how they got connected with manager and client by this guy named Magomedov of Russia.
Magomedov.
And this guy is a tycoon that
baller.
Billionaire.
Okay.
That actually got jailed.
Yes.
For embezzling tons of money. Mm-hmm. And he got put there by Putin. Putin said, like, I'm not fucking with the bullshit.
Putin said, you got to share some of this.
Yeah. Putin, once he gives you the axe, it's over. Now, everybody's wondering, like, oh, how did Ali Abdulaziz, like, go from, like, I don't know, like 3 or 5 fighters to, like, 50 in the UFC and, like, a bunch of other ones outside of this. There's another guy that is seen in all these pictures with Habib and connecting with Magomedov, and his name is Ramzan Kadyrov. Mm-hmm. And this guy is allegedly a murderer. He killed somebody with the back of like a shovel before burying him.
Jesus
and then,
Christ.
Better get your shit together so I can finish this point. This guy is the leader of Chechnya, and he is involved in the most vicious acts known to man in terms of starting internment camps where he's exterminating gay people. And he was...
Forgive me for laughing.
He used to kill Dagestani. It was very, very strange crossover here.
Jesus Christ.
This is his inner circle. And
this guy
with these guys, these are all guys that have been, at one point or another, looked in a bad light.
He started... killing gay people where? I mean, you just kind of glossed over that.
Yeah. Chechnya, see, yeah, you've heard of this,
and he even
right?
kind of telegraphed it first. He was like, first of all, we should kind of just separate gays from the population. I don't think it's a good idea. They're with us. And then a couple months later, there's camps.
Yeah.
And then you find out there's murders in the camps.
Yeah. And Habib is connected to this guy. Okay. And so what I'm saying is, like, these people these are the guys that are, like, considering him a Russian hero, but at the same time,
he portrays this nice guy.
These three guys are being looked at in a better light because of their connection with Habib. He's their saving grace, and they're being looked at better in their public because of Habib. That's why they're so like, oh, he's our knight that is gonna give us a better public opinion in our countries.
And bring money in. Because Magomedov is the one who was paying for his gym, Eagles MMA.
There you go.
But the flip side is, a couple months ago, 9 months ago, Conor McGregor had one of his homeboys at a pub. His homeboy got whooped by the Irish Mafia.
Okay, I thought he just got slapped.
And Conor shows up and whoops dude's ass, and the mob is like, oh, no.
That's what happened.
So, question is, when billionaires start talking behind the scenes, it's all about money. Right? It's all about money. Either way. And I guess we just remembered, back to the beginning of our show, we listened to, a gangbanging Crip who signed to a gangbanging Blood for 20 years.
Right.
So, on the larger levels, all this stuff you're pointing out is very suspicious.
Very suspicious. I didn't know all that.
But I think when I start flying, when I go through the UFC's background stuff too, there's some funny, interesting stuff there too.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's in any sport that has promoters.
Well, Dana used to be part of in Boston, and he got chased out of Boston by the Irish Mafia because he wouldn't pay up. So of course, it only behooves him to make an Irish star really, really famous.
Accurate. But with a circle like this, they're not going to let him retire.
It depends.
I
don't know, man.
I mean, like, these are just like crazy big name people that is just like that are behind this, boring guy when you off face value.
Don King once kicked a man to death.
That shit is crazy.
Went to jail for it.
And here it goes. It's all full circle. A pimp from Cleveland.
Oscar De La Hoya liked to dress up in women's clothes and get spoon shoved in his ass, allegedly.
Oh, shit.
These promoters are crazy, man.
Facts. These are facts.
I'm putting on my jacket like Mr. Rogers because I'm about to leave.
Yep.
Do you know that the person who bought the UFC, Ari Emanuel, do you know about him?
That's the dude, the Entourage dude, right?
Correct. That's who it's based off. Do you know who his brother is?
No.
Rahm Emanuel.
Oh, Rob Emanuel. Oh, the Chicago motherfucker?
And what was he, the mayor before Chicago? He was what?
I don't know.
Chief of White House staff.
Oh, yeah, he was. For Obama.
Yep.
He was a hoe.
So,
putting things in perspective.
Lot of billionaires hanging out together.
Yeah.
That's why I love MMA, because it tells you where the business is going.
I appreciate you coming through, man.
I appreciate being I mean, this is just great. I'm a fan.
We'll do it again, man. We come down to your show.
Yeah.
Please.
We do it.
Pick a fight you really want to see and come talk some shit with us.
Yeah, man. We gonna make it happen.
Podcast is coming together.
And then you know what we really got to do?
What?
That Avengers is coming, man.
We
started this crossover shit.
We'll definitely come do this.
We're going to do that Avengers episode.
It's Dirty Ern, Daniel Oda, my man Sweet. I didn't put no S on it.
Right.
We out of here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.